about fears. Let's talk about love. Yeah, I got fears, but I ain't got no love.
Okay, so today I want to talk about tips. And in specific, I'll talk about a tip that I received in this case. Now, when it comes to old cases, whether they're solved or not, but especially if they're unsolved, you as an investigator have to sort through hundreds of rumors and things that just make no sense. Sometimes, as a new investigator, you get bogged down with this because you're constantly, seems like you're chasing your tail. And I went through that with the Gail Matthews and Tamara Burkheiser homicide. You know, somebody emails you, hey, there was a party at the next door neighbor's house and Gail was there. And she went home to check on Tamara. And, you know, everything seems sort of plausible. Then you go back and look at the reports and, you know, it's totally false. And you think to yourself, why in the hell would someone come and give you complete false information? And, you know, I guess the answer is because there's crazy people out there. And you have to sort through that. So, in this case, there are many, I want to say, tips, scenarios. You know, the big one that always comes up is that, you know, Greg, her boyfriend, buried her in concrete at Greg Sunoco. I love to know how these rumors get started. That's what they are. They're more rumors than they are tips. But over the years, when they're told enough, they become believable by some. Now listen, I am quite sure when the police realized that Brenda was missing, let's say it's 2 days later, 3 days later, and they realized who reported her missing, boyfriend Greg, when they talked to Greg, which I know they did, and they say, well, where do you work? Greg Sunoco. Okay. I am sure that they looked, well, let me take that back because yes, they would have looked into Greg. Whether they would have drove up to his business or not to see if he had fresh concrete, I don't know. I guarantee you when they got that tip in later that I can't say I guarantee and then say probably, they probably went and investigated that. Now, is that possible? Yes. Probable? Could be. I doubt it. I'm not there yet. Okay. I don't even know if Greg is a valuable suspect. Of course, he has to be looked into because of the drug history and angle and because he was a boyfriend at the time. And you have to look at those. Transporting a body from Bellefonte State College certainly could be done. But it's more sensational than anything. And that's what people like, sensational headlines. But certainly probably not reality, put it that way. Though, you know, you have to check for, we'll go back and we'll check for permits for concreting any work that was being done there. But it just seems unlikely to me. But that leads me to a tip that I received a couple of weeks ago. And I want to play this tip out because it bears a frustration upon my part as an investigator. And this is the realities of cold cases and investigations. Now, this is a complicated tip. And I want to be able to explain it as down to earth in layman's terms as I can get, and hope that you follow along. Now, I'm not going to use any last names with this. Again, because I don't particularly like using last names. I don't like people being harassed. Now, if I had, 25 followers, that wouldn't be a problem. But when you get up into 100,000, people tend to try to take things upon themselves and harass people. I don't need that. Even if they are suspects, even if the people that give the tip may or may not be idiots, hey, I don't need them harassed. That's not how I operate. But when a tip comes in, whether it's verbal tip, email from somebody's hearsay, whatever it is, doing this for the better part of 2 decades, I tend to know what's bullcrap and what's not. I will be honest with you. As soon as I get a tip that has psychic in the headline or subject matter of an email, I don't read much further than that. Okay? And I've gotten a few of those already. Now, this tip that I got involves a psychic, but we're not going to talk about her psychic visions. Okay? Because I would have never even... It wouldn't have got this far to me to talk about it on a video because I don't believe in psychics. But I received an email, and I touched on this in my very first episode about this tip. But I'm going to explain it out here for everybody to know because I believe in transparency. I'm not a cop anymore. I don't have to keep stuff close to the vest. And sometimes I think that's detrimental. I understand why they do it in certain areas, false confessions, so on and so forth, but I'm not in that position anymore. So I'm going to tell you the tip. I received an email from a girl, and her name was Helen. Perfectly good email. Hey, I understand you're working on this case. I'd like to relay some information that I heard. And this is it. A friend of mine told me that a client of her friend told her that she heard from somebody that is dying on a deathbed confession say that Brenda is in the fields behind the bar. Those words. So did you follow that? So I get an email from Helen who said she heard from a friend who heard from a client of hers from a relative, I think is what they said, on his deathbed, confessing, didn't say I killed Brenda, just saying her remains are behind the bar in the fields. Keyword fields, remember that. Okay, so I'm intrigued by this tip. Now, for 2 reasons. One, deathbed confession. Somebody's sick. Okay, ooh, I like that. 2, the use of the word fields. Could have said anything. Could have said roads. Could have said woods. But they said fields. To me, that's very important. Because, why? If you do an overhead search of Carlsbad Tavern and what it is today, what is behind the bar? You guessed it. Fields. So whoever said this has knowledge, at least, of that location. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand why, as an investigator, I took this tip serious right off the bat? Now, some people might not have. I did. So I email Helen back. Helen, can you tell me more about your friend? Okay. Can you give me a name? Okay? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work the tip back to the source. Sometimes that's very difficult when it's hearsay. I heard from this person, and usually by the time you get to the third person back, you discover everything's bullshit. Maybe it will be in this case as well, but I'm not there yet. Helen, can you tell me? Yes, I heard it from my friend Joanne that lives in Bellefonte. Ooh, I like that. From the area, Bellefonte, Joanne. Okay. She gave me a last name. She gave me a phone number. First thing I do as an investigator, I don't immediately get on the phone. I want to research who this person is. Believe it or not, Facebook can tell you a lot. Whenever I need to know what type of character somebody is, I go to Facebook. Why? Because over the years, it has proven me correct. When you see somebody who has 100 posts, one person has liked that post, and it's that person, they like their own post. They don't have, very many friends on there. Listen, okay? I'm not going to take them as serious as somebody who has a family, has a bunch of friends, has a bunch of people comment. That's reality. Okay? So I do some research on Joanne. I find something that I don't like. And it took a little bit. It wasn't easy. I couldn't find it from just the name. I had to go to mutual friends who liked a comment and linked that back and all this in order to find it. This person that was Joanne was a psychic of some sort. Immediately now, my level of expectation and excitement drops down a notch. Now, you may disagree with that. There are hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, that love psychics. I just don't. I don't believe in them. They don't help my investigations, okay? I don't care about visions or anything like that. I don't believe in it. So, now comes the time that I'm still interested in the tip because of Fields, okay? And just because she's a psychic, she didn't say this was her visions, okay? I would have never even researched anything. I would have deleted the email and moved on. She said she heard it from a client. Okay. I can still track this. So I reach out to Joanne. Joanne doesn't respond. So, what do I do next? Do I give up? No. I start looking for all the people that have liked a post or something that she has posted in the past. And what I'm looking for is somebody I know. And lo and behold, I find somebody. Hey, she liked this post. I know her fairly well. I'm going to reach out to her. And the reason is reaching out to her. Hey, what type of person is Joe? I trust this person. Tell me these things. So I reach out to my friend Misty. Known Misty forever. Misty says, yes, I know her very well. What do you need? What can I help you with? So I give her the scenario. Misty says, I will be in touch. Misty reaches out to her. Lo and behold, next thing I know, Joe responds to me. What do you need? Okay, this is what I need. This is what was said to you. I need to know who said that. Now, in the meantime, I was still trying to get the original person who emailed me, Helen, to give me more information, and she cut me off. Once I started digging, she don't want no more. That's normal. I run into that all the time. People they give you info, you start questioning, all of a sudden they back off. Hey, no harm, no foul, whatever. I don't need her anymore. I'm on to Joe. Joe starts telling me, yes, the person told me this. Okay, who's the person? I don't know. You don't know the person that told you, or you don't know the deathbed person. I don't know the deathbed person. I know who told me. Okay, well, who is that? Tracy. She gives me Tracy's last name. I find Tracy. Okay, now we're going somewhere. Now I am one step removed from the potential suspect who's given a deathbed confession. I go to Tracy. In the meantime, I tell Joe, hey, look, thank you. I appreciate this. I'm going to be reaching out to Tracy. She says, oh, could you allow me to do that, please? She is a client of mine. And yeah. I said, sure, no problem. I understand. Even though she's a psychic, hey, she's got a right, I guess, to make a living off of suckers who want to pay her. But she has that right to do so. And she was being nice to me. You're being nice to me and respectful. You're going to get that back tenfold. And I said, sure, no problem. But I left her with this caveat. Hey, if you don't get back to me on this, or if she doesn't answer, I'm going to go to Tracy myself, because I got to follow this up. This is the way it works, And she says, well, I don't like your tone. Okay, I'm just telling you the truth. You're treating me bad. You're treating me poorly. I'm getting anxiety. Okay. You obviously took that the wrong way, and I'm sorry. I apologize. I appreciate everything you've done. I'll wait to hear from you. And that will be that, but I will follow up on this. God bless you, and thank you. That was that. A few hours later, get a text from my friend Misty, who says, hey, Joanne's not going to talk to you anymore. She's done responding with you, and anything else will be through her. So now I'm getting angry. Now I've been working on my anger a lot lately. So, but I don't understand this. But then again, I'm like, well, she's a psychic. Craziness, maybe it all runs together, whatever. But now, okay, I'm a man of my word. And I said I would wait. And I did. Next day, Misty says, Joe talked to Tracy, and I got a name for you of the person who gave the deathbed confession that she's in the field behind the bar. I'm like, perfect. Who is it? And she responds, somebody named Crazy Carl. Are you kidding me? So, the ebb and flow of emotions. I'm up here now. I know who Crazy Carl is. We just spent time talking about him in previous episodes. The owner of the bar. Somebody that would know that there's fields behind the bar. I'm through the roof. I'm solving this case. Right? That's my thought process. Okay. I got to reach out to Tracy. Hey, I was a man of my word. I waited. You told. Now I got the info. Now I got to go to the source. Okay? I go to Tracy. Need to talk to you about a case. Okay, yeah, no problem. I I heard you gave information in regards to somebody that was on their deathbed who may know where Brenda Condon's remains are. I don't know anything. Typical. I've dealt with that before, of course. All right, now you're gonna play some hardball, right? So now, listen. You either tell me what you know, or I will send it over to the state police and they can come knock on your door and they can harass you. It's up to you, okay? I'm trying to be nice here. Well, yeah, I did tell her some stuff. Well, who did you hear it from? I don't remember. Well, it was actually from a person and he's dead now, so it doesn't matter. And I'm thinking, well, I just talked to Carl last week. He surely didn't die between the time I talked to him and today. I hurried up and checked, sent him an email. He responded, well, he's still alive. And I said, give me a name. She says, Sneezy. Sneezy told me this information. How does it go from Crazy Carl said it to Sneezy said it? Something isn't right. And you're saying you don't know anything, but now all of a sudden you do. You said you talked to Joe, but now you didn't. So I go to her friends list and everything on Facebook, and what do I find? Well, her best friends is friends with Carl Easterling. So there's a connection there. I ask her if she knows Carl. No, she says, I know of him. Did Carl tell you this information? Nope, I don't personally know him. I never spoke with him. I have an alcohol problem. So my exuberance goes from very high to very low after speaking with Tracy. I reach back out to Carl. Crazy Carl. Do you know this person? Nope. Can I see a picture? I don't know the name. Yep, send a picture. Nope. Now, is he lying? Could be. I don't know that. I'm not willing to stake my reputation and point my fingers at a potentially innocent person. But I will say that it's awfully odd that before any of my episodes in this investigation aired, that somebody said the name Crazy Carl, and they're the ones that confess that she's behind the bar. Now, the more I thought about it, I'm thinking deathbed. Well, he is very sick. Carl is. So could somebody say, well, he's very sick, he's almost dying. And then as they told somebody, yeah, the guy's on his deathbed. Certainly, it could work like that. So that's the tip. And that's how tips work, and trying to work them backwards, and people, they walk back. No, I didn't say that. They didn't say that. But when you piece it all together, yeah, somebody said something. Okay? Now, is she back there? Well, I think there's enough merit to that confession, the tip that I got, to have another look. I know that bodies are missed all the time. Now, they had helicopters up. But one of the things that I'm questioning is the newspaper articles say they brought a bloodhound in, maybe more than one. But I'm not concerned about bloodhounds. I want cadaver dogs. So I went out and I did a cursory search of that field. And there is a little wooded section. It's a dry creek bed that is there. Could have she been missed? Certainly. Is she buried in the field? I have a hard time believing that. And this is the reason why. February 26th, below 32 degrees. It's cold out. The cold doesn't deter anybody. They commit a crime, but to dig in a field, number one, is very difficult. First of all, you're going to need a shovel. Okay, now I had a case where they buried a body and the offender told me, yeah, well, we did it with rocks in our hands. It wasn't February. But also, to bury somebody in the middle of a field, now unless it was corn and there were stalks in that field at the time, somebody will know that. If it is like it is right now, because I was just there today and I looked at that field, the helicopter is not going to miss that. You're going to see disturbed earth from a helicopter. Now, if it was in the patches of woods, I'll buy that, okay? She could be. She had a red jacket. Red leather jacket. It's missing. Now, I don't know if it went into the dumpster along with her purse. I don't know that. But right now, I'm assuming she had it on. If she was somewhere out in that field just laying, the helicopter would have spotted her. Okay? But it still intrigues me that this tip used the word fields behind the bar and she was missed. That is the most plausible tip that I've received in this case. The concrete, Greg Sunoco. No, this makes more sense. So, that's what I just wanted to talk about. Transparency on tips. The psychic said to me, this is why nobody talks. Nobody says anything, because you're being aggressive. First off, I wasn't being aggressive. Now, I know how to be aggressive. My favorite quote of all time is, because I choose to be peaceful, doesn't mean I forgot how to be violent. Okay? Now, people don't talk because they're scared. That's why they don't talk. You, the psychic, have no reason to be scared. Me as an investigator, I'm trying to close a case of 33 years for the Condon family, for the community of Bellefonte, Zion, State College. These people are wonderful. And you may have a tip to solve it. And you don't want to get involved because you believe I'm being aggressive. There's just some people that just don't get it. So, I wanted to share that experience with you. And again, see, this is how innocent names, get tagged along into an investigation. These people that I spoke of today, Misty, Helen, they're innocent of anything. But their name is now lumped into this investigation for years to follow. And so I don't put their last name out there because it's not fair to them. You know, yes, I'm a little perturbed with Joe. I'm a little perturbed with Tracy. But I'm not going to out them either because they don't need harassed. It's just not how I operate. I'll do some harassing. I'll step on some toes, but that's for the betterment of this case. It's betterment for the investigation, and it's for Brenda, and it's for Brenda's family. And if I hurt feelings because I'm trying to solve the case in a professional manner, oh well. I don't ask for your forgiveness, and I will not offer apologies for that. It's how you get shit done. And that's what I'm here to do. So, till the next episode, thanks for watching. Mains out.